Welcome to episode 30. And I have some fun assignments for us to look at together. And I'm really interested myself in how it's going to come together. I've been prompted to bring these subjects together. And I would like to start with lesson 135. If I defend myself, I am attacked. I think I'm going to read to you from it. Maybe I'll put my glasses on. This time I brought the purple book, but I often bring the other book because most ACIM Gather people use that one as well as it's lighter. But today I picked this one out. I think I wanted to see if Mr. Perry said anything particular to add on, but he did not. I forgot that he didn't do anything with the lessons as far as editing. Okay. Who would defend himself unless he thought he was attacked, that the attack was real, and that his own defense could save himself? And herein lies the folly of defense. It gives illusions full reality and then attempts to handle them as real. It adds illusions to illusions, thus making corrections doubly difficult. And it is this you do when you attempt to plan the future, activate the past, organize the present as you wish. You operate from the belief that you must protect yourself from what is happening because it must contain what threatens you. A sense of threat is an acknowledgement of an inherent weakness, a belief that there is danger, which has the power to call on you to make appropriate defense. The world is based on this insane belief, and all its structures, all its thoughts and doubts, its penalties, heavy armor, its legal defenses, its codes, its ethics, and its leaders and its gods, all serve but to preserve its sense of threat. For no one walks the world in armature, but must have terror striking at his heart. All right, so that's the usual world that we view as unreal. Now, let me tell you before I do what I'm going to do next, tell you why I'm doing it. I actually think that when I'm thinking well, I'm not thinking at all. I'm thinking the way the world thinks. I'm thinking in harmony to my own defenses. I'm even thinking with my spiritual ego, following through on the course, following the lessons, judging people without realizing I'm judging them, and putting them into categories, or telling people when they're judging them for judging and then telling them, or doing what people call Course in Miracles attacking, trying to think of, it's not microaggression, but it's, I can't think of the word right now, but it's using A Course in Miracles to correct someone, which of course, the Course always tells us not to correct a brother. But you get it. I think I'm right. And when I'm thinking, well, I'm off the mark. You know when I think we might be doing our best thinking? When we're blocked from our hypnotic thinking, our minds are kind of scrambled and we can't think. You know that place. Everybody gets there. We don't like it because we like to think, we like to be smart, we like to have the answers. It's kind of a defense, don't you think? Don't you think, even if you're not arguing with someone, so that you notice you're defending yourself, but when you're answering back, you're perpetuating your thought system, you're perpetuating your way of living. So now I would like to do my part in scrambling your brain. The Course just said that we're not thinking when we imagine this unreal world, this world the Course calls illusions. And when we're imagining it to be real and defending it, this is not the real world. All right. On March 13th, 2022, Rupert Spira quotes this. When the traditional teaching says that the world is an illusion, it does not mean that the world is unreal or not really there. Well, if you're a Course student, you go, oh, this can't be right. No, just listen a little further. He's going to play with our minds. And I am asking you to welcome it just for now. Now he says, it's not that the world is unreal. Oops. Oh, the Course has told me the world is unreal. No, just hang in there a little longer. The world is absolutely real, he says. It's just that the reality of the world is not dead. Inert, the stuff called matter. So now he's talking about a different kind of knowing unreality. So when we say we're a person, we think of ourselves as solid matter, right? It doesn't matter whether we're scientists or really, really smart and know better. If we're telling the truth, just you and me, just you and I. Guess it's you and me. Or maybe it's I. Anyway, no matter which it is. If we're telling the truth, we're thinking of ourselves, even if we know better, as solid matter, as people, separate people. So we're not dead mass, he says. We're not inert stuff. It's totally alive. This dead matter is totally alive stuff. And Science calls it potential. Science calls it energy. Right here, right now, we're going to call it pure knowing awareness, or God's infinite being. So now we're using words that are going to scramble our brain. Course says this is the unreal world. Rupert says, oh no, what's unreal is thinking of it as matter, but it's life, it's alive. Oh, now we have something else at our fingertips. And I'm saying this scrambling is really good for us, for our real knowing, the knowing that when you know there's no more Santa Claus, there's no more Santa Claus, there's no practicing, there's no processing, there's no remembering, there's no Santa Claus. That's it. Well, what if we know what we are in that same way? So now I'm going to give you something else, hopefully, to scramble your brain. We think of ourselves on these journeys. We think of ourselves having parallel journeys with our brothers and sisters. We think of ourselves as needing to be helpful to other sons and daughters of God. What if we're not these inert matter and we're alive? And now I'm going to give you a metaphor of a train and a train station. We're busy on the trains. We're going here, we're going there, we're helping our brothers, we're doing supposedly God's work. We're trying to be better people. Or some of us are killing other people over in a war. Others of us are killing other people with our words. We're judging each other. All of these activities are going on like trains moving around. There's a motor, we've got energy, we're moving along, we're on a mission. But Rupert says, we're not the trains, we're the train station. The train station is 100% open. It never closes. It never says you're doing well. You're not doing so well. It doesn't even have opinions. It's just isness. It's just aliveness. Can you imagine how I can't even think of the word, it's so good. It's more than reassuring. It's more than comforting. How awesome. I just can't think of the word, the right word. How awesome it would be not to be judged at all, even to be allowed to not be great, because most of us are trying our best to be great or better because we're not good enough. Belief we're not good enough. But what if none of that was necessary? What if we're the all-knowing train station? we watch. So we watch ourselves come here and there. We watch ourselves be helpful. We watch ourselves forgive. We watch ourselves attack. Now, in this system, forgiveness does not mean you feel better. It's over. That's what forgiveness means. It's over. You don't judge anymore. And so if you never judged, you wouldn't need forgiveness. Forgiveness puts you back where the train station is. The Course says we don't know neutrality. That's neutrality. You're completely open, so nothing closes you up. Nothing. But you also don't prefer and not prefer other things, more and less preferred. No, that's part of what the train does. That's the activity of the train. I like chocolate ice cream. I like this kind of road. I like to help these people. I like to be good. I like to be the conqueror. We have conquerors right now. I want to read to you the other part of lesson, well, there are many parts of lesson 135. I believe that the words that Bill and Helen wrote down might have been slightly off because of their limited understanding at the time. Let's just put it out there as a hypothesis. I know that it's almost heretical to say the words I just said, because those are hallowed ground that Helen and Bill walk on. We don't, I mean, it is amazing that the Course came through them. I'm in total awe. But you know that words can be misleading. If you've ever had a download, the precise word is sometimes either limited by our understanding, or we don't quite 100% get the accurate word that might represent the idea. And you know, they did phenomenally well. So it's not for me to judge, but I just want to put this out there. And I know I know many people who won't love this, but I'm going to do it anyway. What could you not accept? Paragraph 19 in lesson 135. What could you not accept if you but knew that everything that happens, all events, past, present, and to come, are gently planned by one whose only purpose is your good? The only part of that I am putting up for discussion is the your good. If there's no separate person, there is no your good. While you think there's a separate person, it's very useful to think it's for your good. But after a while, you may, if you're like me, hit your limit of those words. But I do not feel that I've hit my limit of the idea that's been passed down. So what is the idea without those words of your good? And your good might just be, if it is the words that were meant, it might just be that outstretched arm to pull you in from the boat from which you've fallen, in which you're drowning. So to pull a drowning person, if a person were ready to commit suicide, which most of us were symbolically in some form, just in the grief or in the despair before we found the course. What if it's meant to give us that hand up, even if it's not the whole truth? But I want to go further. What if it is the whole truth, just not the correct word written down? What if the whole truth is that everything is written? We can relax. Destiny's got us. It's got our back. It's got our front. It's got our intuition. It's got all the action of the train going in the station. My God, what if we could relax 100%? Wouldn't that make sense of lesson 135? In my defenselessness, my safety lies. I want to say bad English. We don't got to do anything. Don't you just love it? I need do nothing. Not because nothing will be done. Everything will be done. But it will be directed. It's directed now. If there is destiny, that hasn't changed a thing that we don't believe it. It just changes the possibility of our truly relaxing. I don't know about you, but if I think something's for my good, I'm still into good and bad. Now I'm going to wonder what's in it, what causes my bad. If I'm being directed by my good, then can I do bad? I want to get off the good, bad train. Do you? Would you like to join me as the train station? What does that mean? It doesn't mean we walk around, oh, we're a train station, we don't feel anything. No, we don't get involved in the feelings. We have responses and we let them flow. We let the thoughts come and go unless they're the thoughts that help us with this world. This world is like a laboratory, and we need some special skills for it. When you work in a lab, you put a lab coat on, you use certain instruments in certain ways, then you may calibrate certain things that you're studying. It's all specialized equipment. We can use it all, but not believe we are it all. We can even feel everything: upset, anger, shame, blame. But as long as we don't take it as the truth of who we are, what are we? We are that which sees and knows and is acknowledging, accepting, not agreement, not I vote for this. No, it's just happening. That's the kind of seeing, not the seeing with the body's eyes that are distorted, where you can look for something and not find it when it's right in front of you. That's the body's eyes, because they're distorted by our belief we lost it, our fear that we lost it, we can't find it, somebody ate it, somebody took it. I misplaced it. All those thoughts, all those feelings, all those beliefs influence our seeing. But we have real vision. We are the knower of the train. Wow, can you take that in? We are the ultimate. Because the ultimate's not better than anyone. We don't have to have arrogance. It's not worse than anyone. It's not shameful. That's the reason we can't, I believe, accept our God self, is because we want to hold on to not good enough. What if you are the supreme? Good enough is a comparison. If you had just one last minute of your life, would it be enough? Would you be enough? Or would you say more, not enough? Could you let this moment be your transformation? Thank you. Stay with that. Be with that. Open the doorway to that. Be the watcher, the knower, the holder of all, the embracer. I love you. Bye.